NERDSoul.
Lay Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bring you that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today we got the Anime-ish crew, thumbnails, all that jazz. We having a good time. I'm going to throw it off first. You know what I'm saying? To get these introductions underway. To a gentleman that I thought we might not even hear from today. I was like, we ain't going to hear from this man. We ain't going to hear from him. He out doing whatever he got to do. Coop, say what's up.
Man, I just joined in. I thought you was about to say Mark. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me good?
Yeah, we got you.
Look,
yeah, that sounded like my usual intro, but that was very...
I was like...
Nah, Coop was like, man, I ain't gonna make it, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
I said I was just finishing up a game, and Ninja was like, get your butt up, multitask. Yelling at me.
Ain't nobody
like
trying to hear about no
You
games.
added some extra. You were pretty floral with that added language.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
There's some additional characters that were used.
I was typing. All right, on my phone.
So,
He was typing and wingdings came up. So that's what happened.
I was typing and trying to win. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. This is the first time we're all together at once.
yeah, we all up in here,
All right. See, I wasn't gonna miss it.
This the realness. All right, word. Let me throw it over to Gamma. Gamma, what's up?
Hey, it's your girl Gamma Ray Cosplay, lawyer by day, cosplayer by night, straw hat pirate on the weekends. Yeah, I'm here. I'm telling you, this crazy weather is changing.
Yeah.
It's hitting me, but I'm here.
It's hitting us all in the gut and the nose.
Yes.
Man. All right, going over to Kunoichi of the year. Already.
Oh.
Cast your ballot. Ninja Cosplay, what's up?
Well, I hope I make it to December at this point. Good morning, good evening, good night. Ninja Sama Cosplay. Glad to be here as always.
Yeah. And last but not least, Mark Dub.
Yes, I occupy my time and space as part man and part thug. I'm Mark Dub. And I am here this week after once again, I have to thank these people because y'all put me on to My Hero Academia.
We gonna get into that.
Like my blood pressure is elevated every week thanks to you guys. I appreciate you.
You really did come in at an awesome time. I'm a people real with you. You came in at an awesome time.
I told Coop, what was it I was watching? Coop put me on to something else, and I came on. It's right in the middle of there's no training montage. People
Mark,
getting.
You come in on the middle. You come in on the middle of everything. You get to binge it while the rest of us done walk. They had to wait and suffer. You get to enjoy the fullness of it.
Y'all, I call Coop at 3 a.m. to be like, Coop, he just shot him. Coop be like, who shot who? What are we talking about? It is 3. I sleep.
All right, so I was Ninja dropped this in the chat a while back, but I do want to throw it to some old school every now and then, you know what I'm saying? Because Ninja was like, yo, I want to talk some old school. So I'm gonna throw it to Ninja first. Today's question I'll jump with is what was your first anime you remember watching? Regardless of whether it was good or not, what's your first one you remember watching?
I can answer that question. There's kind of 2 answers to that.
Right.
But I'm just gonna break it down in the sense that if I would say, or that I know, the first anime I watched and knew it was anime, meaning that I knew it was of Japanese origin and I knew it was not just Saturday morning cartoons, because I did watch Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball and all that stuff. But I thought it was just Saturday morning cartoons. I didn't differentiate that its origin was different. It just was all on. It was just all on TV. So I did watch all that, and I really liked it and all that. And I didn't really know why or anything that the style or something like that was speaking to me. But the first one I watched and was like, this is different. I was 12, and it was Saturday night, and I was on TV Guide channel because it used to be a channel. Scroll up. and it would scroll up, and you would just look. You would look infomercial come on.
Follow the
and
old
it
people.
came-
Follow the old people.
Yeah, you remember, and then you would go to sleep to it. It'll leave an imprint on your TV. Yeah, so it was scrolling up, and it scrolled by Cartoon Network, and normally you see whatever you can recognize it. Well, it said Inuyasha, and I was like, what does that even mean? I was like, what is that? Like, I was like, I never, you're a kid, you kind of know every cartoon is out, and I'm like, I've never heard of that, never seen it, don't know what that is, don't know how to pronounce it. So I went to the channel, watched it. It was like the episode that Shishomaru first appeared. And then the show that came on immediately after that was Yu Yu Hakusho, and I've been hooked on anime ever since. So those two.
Your first husband.
All right, how about you, Coop?
Me, man. Well, I'm born in 1981, so you probably about an idea where I'm gonna go. It's where 5 space explorers go deep into space to save the planet. And they form together to form Voltron, the legendary super robot. But yeah, man. Oh, bro, it, like what Ninja just said. I think I saw.
I can't do it fast enough.
Every week, every episode, don't matter that music just touch it. When you're a kid, I swear, like what Ninja said. You got your silly, stupid cartoons and all of a sudden Voltron comes on. It's like, what is this? And why do I love it so much? And, for me, my dad didn't care about Star Wars or whatever, so I never got into it. So that was my Star Wars. So, I didn't miss, I used to watch it on black and white TV, in the little room where my Atari 2600 was hooked up to. Whenever I could, and I loved it. It spoke of teamwork. The stakes was serious. And then to go back and learn as an adult all the stuff that happened to make this thing become a hit in the West, and how they changed Spin to Shiro, or what's his name? His real name, Shiro, to Spin, and then you can use both of the characters in the new Voltron. So I love it, man. And then the lead character name was Keith. So I was like, oh, that's dope. Even though he was so boring. The original Keith was
well,
like...
the funny
Coop,
thing
I
is...
got a question for you, Coop. Did you watch the reboot on Netflix? It was very good.
Loved
it was
all
very
of
good.
It. What I love what they did with the reboot. Now, and then I'm going to also throw He-Man in there. I know not an anime, even though it does have some outside production, all that. But what a lot of people miss with what I love what Netflix do, how it was very Monster of the Weekish in the original one and such, and then they can reuse the animation and it gets blah blah blah. I love that they added the story, that they fleshed it out to make it more of that space drama, space adventure thing, and it didn't lose none of the essence of what Voltron is. You got the 5 primary colors: the green, blue, pink, or red, or white. They made the princess cooler. They made her a black woman. They made, everybody had a personality. They got rid of Nanny, which is cool because they had to update some things. They didn't rely on the mice trope. Hunk was cool. He actually had a brain, even he sounded like Fred Flintstone. So a part of it is I like the old stuff. You like the old, maybe some problematic things in the original one. They were doing some crazy to the princess with Nanny and all that. I was like, they had to get rid of that. But to take something from your childhood and to see it as an adult and still be this love property, and even one of my shirt designs is a homage to Voltron, because it touched me, so I love it. It's what got me into before the word anime existed. Tell folks, us old people, there was no word. I ain't gonna say the other word because some people might take offense to it, or I don't want to get NERDSoul flagged. So, because YouTube and Google is out here tripping lately.
It's all good. These social media sites decide who's gonna win and who isn't already. I mean, there's been articles upon articles on it, so don't worry about that.
But basically, it was. I was watching anime before anime was a thing per se, and I don't want to, I'm not bragging. I just didn't know that it was.
Yeah, we didn't even know.
We didn't know.
Now, I'll throw this to you. Technically, if we want to go there, then Transformers was mine because
right.
Weirdly, I was never into Voltron back then. Transformers was my thing. Now, on the flip side, on the reboot, I love Voltron. I've watched it through like 2 or 3 times now. Like,
oh man,
the reboot on Netflix is on point, but I guess technically you can say Transformers is mine, but I'll save my, like Ninja said, like my knowledge of it till later. I want to kick it off to Gamma. What's the first anime you remember?
Couldn't find a mute button. Yeah, so I'm definitely kind of, as you could say, a little way more old school with it, because growing up with 3 older brothers, I was, exposed to all of the superheroes, nerd, comic book, anime things very, very early. So I'm like kindergarten age, 5, 6, hanging out with my brothers. And I remember our favorite classic thing to watch that we would literally wear out the VHS was Speed Racer. And I was like,
yeah,
I knew you were going to
This
say
is
Speed
awesome.
Racer. I knew it.
I knew it had to be
Yeah.
either Speed Racer or
I knew it was
Astro
Speed
Boy,
Racer.
something like that.
It was, I didn't know why I was excited about it. My brothers would be excited. They were like, sound effects. And we were like, man, watch Speed Racer, like doing his old school karate and his bell bottoms. And it was awesome. and the adventures. And it's just like, oh my gosh, his brother is Racer X. How does he not know? And it was just like cool, like the effects, the cool car. And it from there, it just literally helped. It was kind of our thing, like our bonding thing, me and my brothers. And from there, I remember with Sci-Fi would have their like late night or early Saturday morning like anime movie premiere. So I remember watching Vampire Hunter D on my own and being like, this is so adult, but this is so freaking cool. Like, this is animation, because this looks nothing like Scooby-Doo or Bugs Bunny. Like, this is a whole nother level type drawing. So yeah, those are my first, between Speed Racer and Vampire Hunter D.
it is amazing what the difference in what Japan was doing and what Hanna-Barbera was doing in the 60s and 70s.
Well, the funny thing is, remember, at first Japan was trying to jock Disney style, but like then for some reason they broke from that. And I can't remember why. I was watching the documentary. I can't remember why they broke from that. Maybe it was too expensive or whatever. Who knows? But at first Japan was trying to kind of like mimic Disney. And for whatever reason, they decided against it. It was probably money-wise, since we know how animation is now, especially with the way limited animation. Like, we're so used to limited animation now. If we see something fluid, we're like, hold up, what's going on? But
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really throws me off.
What's going on with this? What's going on with this
Looks a little
regular
too-
frames?
Like, this looks too real. Like, why is there no choppiness? Like, the cutscenes, everything. Like you said, it's very fluid. Versus like standstill scenes and clips and people talking but nobody's mouth moving. Yeah.
Or just
I
like their
love-
mouth is moving. No, their nose isn't moving. Their eyes aren't moving. Their
I'll
hands,
say this.
cheeks,
new
nothing.
The new trick I love, and me and Mark joke about this, especially when we watch, say, Nagatoro. We watch, believe it or not, I got him on Don't Bully Me, Miss Nagatoro. Everybody who don't matter in that show don't get eyes or a nose, or they don't get a. They
That
might
is
get.
the funniest thing to me. And
They might get a mouth. They just say no eyes. You're not important.
Coop mentioned that to me the first time I watched it, and now every time I see one of them tertiary auxiliary characters,
You
This
are
is
what I
nothing.
care about.
And this is how they explain it. The senpai literally says, I hate them. I mean, he don't say I hate them, but they're so irrelevant to me, or I'm so not in their world, I don't even see them or something.
Wow.
Like, I just, so like, yep, problem solved.
Classic trope.
They gotta animate their eyes or their
I
facial
love it.
features.
Wow.
God, I wish I could do that in real life to people. Be like, you are irrelevant. I
It's
did
like,
not
man,
even see your face.
Faceless.
Gone.
All right. So, Mark Dub, what's the first anime you remember? So yours is probably a little more updated. Now, I'm interested to hear yours.
No, I'm older than I think I'm the
Uh-oh.
oldest in the group. I was on Robotech, y'all.
Oh,
Before I knew what it
snap.
was.
Wow. Giant robots.
Let me be this guy. Well, but actually, it's Macross. I'm just joking.
Oh, Lord.
So
Here
what
we
it-
go.
super weaving that. Actually.
Look, Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, you can say either one, the same one, and nobody gets mad about it. Only in a gatekeeping way. Only in a gatekeeping way.
Checkers and rallies.
Mark,
You know,
when I see people at the con, I know you do. I know you do. But I do it on purpose to people. They're like, Macross. But, oh, hey, Robotech. I'd be like, Robotech is a cooler. I just keep it real. Robotech is a cooler name anyway. But proceed, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, but also the ones you named, Transformers. That was my of course. And yeah, I related to Pidge. He was short, and he was a nerd, and his favorite color was green. The only difference, he had curly hair. He just was a little. He was a little Caucasian, and I was a little less.
A little less.
But that was my dude. I love Voltron.
All right. Let me see. On mine, okay, the first time I saw anime and like knew like, oh, okay, all right, this is something different. Shouts out. First, I want to give a shout out to cable TV, something that these youngsters might not know about. All right. So right now we have like Netflix and HBO Max and stuff like that. But back in the day, all you had was like USA, TBS, and TNT. Like that was
That's
That's what you had. That was like
And Sci-fi. Sci-fi had it.
Man, we didn't even have Sci-fi.
Yeah, see, Sci-fi came on a little bit later, but yeah, Sci-fi would rerun mad movies too. So that was like your streaming setup. That's what you had. And one night, TNT played Akira, Vampire Hunter D, and what's the one? Heavy Metal, all in the same night. They played it all in one night.
Nights. I remember.
And I remember being like, yo, what it now? I know I'm probably gonna hurt a lot of feelings. They're gonna be mad. I was not impressed. I'm still not impressed with Heavy Metal. I'm just not. I'm just whatever.
You're not alone.
But Akira and Vampire Hunter D, Akira on a level of like just a technical level of animation.
Yo,
Vampire Hunter D on the fact that I love supernatural horror and supernatural action. So I was sold that night. That night I was sold. I was like, yo, this is dope. Cool fight scenes, awesome stuff, dope stuff is happening, fights and stuff. I'm in. Like that.
When you get a chance, Mike, there's some if I find it, but there are some great documentaries on. I know I go deep on it sometimes, but on Vampire Hunter D and the creation of it, the books, the history.
Oh yeah, I've watched a lot of them.
Yeah,
I'm getting my hardcover from the Kickstarter that they did last year. Shouts out to Brandon Easton. I thought that book would never see the light of day.
Oh, really?
Because it was supposed to be a hardcover. They did one issue, which I also own, and then it's called Message to Mars. And it just disappeared because they were supposed to make a TV show and a comic book to go with it. But then it just disappeared. Something happened with Stranger Comics and Unified Pictures.
Man, whoever's listening, folks, do not let the character Vampire Hunter D die. He should come back at least every 5 years. Every 5 years, make a movie.
Because between the first movie and Bloodlust, you're talking about like what, 15 years or something?
Like
I don't long.
Vampire Hunter D should get so much more love. Like,
yeah, you think, especially during like the vampire train, you think somebody be like, all right, let's get a movie out.
You would think after soon as the hit of how Castlevania happened, whoever owns the IP, they should be like, all right, whoever owns multiple pieces, if it's one of those things, we're like, all right, shut up, let's get together, let's make some of this money. Yeah, because it's got like, I don't know, like 40 novels or something. So there's tons of like material to mine from. Even if you want to make some new stuff, the creator is still like, it's not like the creator has been dead for like 1 billion years. Like, there's the ability is there to make so I have no idea, but I do have the hardcover. They actually updated the Kickstarter. They got the hardcovers coming in because there was like shipping issues with COVID and all that. But yeah, I got the hardcover coming. I love Vampire Hunter D for real. And I know they probably would have to go 3D to some level to save production time, whatever. I need what y'all did in Bloodlust. Keep it. That is it. They probably don't do nothing else. They probably not gonna do that.
I don't know, man. The original one is
what y'all did in Bloodlust.
Maybe that's why they coming back, because it take a lot of work to get them backgrounds and stuff right.
Okay,
Bruh,
y'all.
but
So
Bloodlust is
so
on
I'm
point.
hearing that I need to be on Vampire Hunter D today.
Yes.
Yo,
Did you watch it with me? Oh, you watched it?
No.
Or you came in a little. You never saw Vampire Hunter
I don't
D?
think so.
oh, and the funny thing is, like, the first movie has like 8 different versions.
Oh, jeez.
Because remember that there's like a cut for Japan, there's a cut for the US.
Oh, yeah.
There's
that's right.
there's like 3 or 4 cuts, I think. And
To have it on
and
DVD.
there's like different voices. There's 2 sets of different American voices too. It's weird.
What?
It's like,
Hey.
yo, there's Vampire Hunter D. The first movie has been through tons of
It
stuff.
shout out to Bloodlust. That was a blockbuster classic. That was like the
Yeah.
end of the blockbuster almost phase for me.
Yeah,
When Blockbuster
that's
was
one of
getting
them
a little
joints
dusty.
that I rented and immediately went out and found to buy.
Okay.
Because I was like, my boy was like, hey man, you want to watch this movie called Vampire Hunter D? I was like, yeah man, I've seen that mad times. He was like, nah, this just came out. I was like, oh, what? I was like, excuse me? And then I hit up Blockbuster, watched it, then I bought it. That style, and I can't remember the man's name who did the direction and like a lot of the storyboarding for it, but that art style, that, in my opinion, outside of like maybe a couple of other styles, that is quintessential like crossover anime. Because when you look at it, it's got its anime feel of like Naruto and Dragon Ball, but also sort of an Americanized comic feel from like Jim Lee. So it's like in like Jim Lee and Greg Capullo kind of. So it's like a perfect like mesh of like, this is American and Japan, but it's still like super sick. And there's, of course, monsters, you know, vampires, whatever, blood, tons of action. Yo, it's that movie. I can't say enough about Blood.
Okay, that sounds like that's going in the queue for today. Like Coop, I'm going to hang out with Coop a little bit today. Coop, you might have to cue that joint up, man.
I don't know if I'm in the mood for Bloodlust, man.
Oh, see how you do you?
I might want to watch my
how they do.
cute slice of life stuff today.
Hey, you know
So
what?
my,
I dig the slice of life stuff so much. I dug Miss Nagatoro.
Man, Bloodlust is heavy, bro. It's like I
So-
gotta get a move.
so my block was like kind of what you were saying, how Vampire Hunter D was one of your like blockbuster rentals, and as soon as it came out, you bought it. Mine for the anime was Baki, the OVA. Watching that, I was obsessed. I was like, this is the coolest and most disturbing fight scene I've seen in I don't know how long. And as soon as I found it on DVD, honestly, I think I had to like go on Amazon later when I got older to find it. But yeah, early blockbuster rentals that I fell in love with, Baki. Baki the Grappler.
Nice. Baki, and see, they got the joints that's been in my list on Netflix mad long, but I have not watched it yet. But I will say we're in a good place now where there's so much good stuff to watch as opposed to, man, it was man, look, I'm gonna keep it real for y'all youngsters that might be listening to this show. Like, yo, look, it was dry in them streets back in the day, man. Like,
Can I
you know
just
what
be
I'm saying?
honest?
1990, 85, stuff like that, man. It was dry out there, man. It was dry. 95, it was still dry. It was tough.
I won't even say it was dry.
Up until
then.
like Dragon Ball Z, it was dry out there.
I won't
And
necessarily
if you
say
want
that,
live action, it was super dry.
but I'll say for me, getting into adulthood, I'm glad like those the extra bug-eye years of animation. The only I'm glad I didn't really care about that in my early 20s. Like, I guess Dragon Ball Z was there, and Yu-Gi-Oh for some reason caught me. I didn't know what the hell they were doing. I ain't never played a Yu-Gi-Oh game, but that was some of the best voice act. They were so serious about this game. I'm gonna send you to the Shadow Realm, and that's the only like bug-eyed era of animation that I guess I got into. But I'm just kind of glad as I got older and work didn't get in the way so much that I kind of caught the next generational of things in maybe 2003 and kind of got away from that bug eye era. And
Yeah,
in fact,
it did kind of switch a little bit.
I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna give love to something I just binged because Ninja had mentioned this. I think we were mentioning it when you said old anime. I just went ahead and had to do it. I had to do a Samurai Champloo binge. Oh my god!
Are we calling that? Are we considering that old school now? I mean, I
It
guess
is over 20 years old.
It's a
Yeah, I
whole
guess.
verse.
At 20 years.
Yeah, I guess
it's right
so. I
in
guess
nearing
it
the
is.
20 years. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I guess we
It's
can call
older
that
than
old
my
school.
it's older than my marriage. And I've been married for a long time.
You have vintage, you have retro, you have old school / throwback, and then you have current. That's how you
Yeah,
have
because
to
I remember somebody was
decades.
calling like, I can't remember what rapper. I think they were like, "Yo, Nelly is an old school rapper." I was like, "What?"
Right.
I was like,
Early
well,
aughts.
yeah. I was like,
Early,
yeah, I guess so.
early aughts, man. They got that Cheeto dust on it, man. You know, it's
Yeah, because I went through because of course when a big year in hip hop was 1996, and we were doing those 25-year reviews. I was like, man, 25. I was
Yeah,
like,
man.
I was like,
Yo.
it feel like it was written, came out yesterday. Like I put in the album, and I'm like, yo, man, Nas was killing it. And I'm like, yo, hold up, that's 25 years ago.
Speaking of which, I made Mark. Well, I guess I made Mark. I played the first episode or two of Samurai Champloo for Mark. And I was like, Mark never said. I said, Mark, this is right up your alley. I said, this is lo-fi hip hop.
Yes.
Samurais. It's beautiful. The great thing about that show, and I said this about other shows like Avatar and stuff, when you watch it at a certain age of your life and go back and watch it, you pick up other tropes that you may have not gotten as you were younger, or stuff that's more important to you now. And the story, it's a timeless, beautiful, I don't know if beautiful is the word to put it, but it's beautifully done, beautifully drawn, superbly voice acted. One of the best voice acting by the guy who plays Spike Spiegel and Steve Bloom. Met him before. Nice guy. Met him
Literally voiced a good chunk of our childhood.
Voice.
Yeah,
he's the voice of
Master.
Toonami. He's literally the voice of Toonami.
Tom. Yes,
Tom.
he's Tom.
Yes.
I love his social media because he be getting on people that I don't like either. But but I implore people that if you want I guess you could say it's a spaghetti samurai flick because it matches genres up, but it still flows through the Edo period of time to kind of hit some key points. But just dope, man. Like shout out to Jay Dilla for the invention of lo-fi, but this is actually critical in lo-fi hip hop.
Nuja
Yeah.
Bass. Nuja Bass.
Nuja-
was
Nuja
the
Bass.
Come
man
on,
behind
come on, you know what show this is. You know I was going to add in that they were highly influenced by my man Jay Dilla,
I
who
had
was
to give
also highly influenced by my man Pete Rock. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Hey, bro, we said
Come
the
on, Dilla.
timeline.
Once they said they were influenced by Dilla, I was like, oh, all right. Now I was like, when I was listening to the music, I was like, I feel like they was influenced by Dilla. When they said it, I was like, respect.
I always listen to the soundtrack. It's one of the few anime soundtracks, first of all, because it's hip hop, other than just an anime thing. But when you hear every song flow through the show, it's gold. And it's like to be able to watch it. I used to, like, quick story time. I used to always watch it when I see my now wife, then girlfriend, when I go to her apartment, and Toonami's on late, so you wind up watching it, between hanging out and all that good stuff. And then it's like it just like it didn't lose, like, some things I think Toonami add a mystique to. Like, I probably wouldn't watch Inuyasha during the day. Like, I could not make myself watch it during the day. But if I watch it at night, I'm programmed to watch it at night. And I'm like, oh, it feel better. Not knocking on Inuyasha, but none of that. But Samurai Champloo holds up to be able to binge it. It didn't lose anything for me to watch it in a different, correct time, every single episode in chronological order, because Toonami used to do that thing. They'll skip an episode, they'll rewind, run it back. You never can catch it exactly. I've seen everything, but I never saw everything in chronological order. But it's a show you don't always have to watch every episode in chronological order, like Cowboy Bebop, but it's a little bit more in chronological order than Cowboy Bebop, if that makes sense. So,
all right, I feel you on that one. I feel you on that. But that the soundtrack, all that stuff came together. It was nice. So I'm glad we got to get a little bit out of it out. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk some more old school, you know what I'm saying, as the weeks progress.